These sensitive ass that just came out of this little, I don't know where they come from, but niggas be getting wild emotional. Niggas be turning into big super police. Just be trying to have fun.
To ever try to phone me, hit you with no delay. So what you saying, yo? Should have with that 9 milli, but together, yo. Yeah, I can hit better than him. He better not play with me. I will and perform Busta Rhymes show.
Right?
Yeah.
I know you've been heavy on social media talking about it.
He did it. And I'm the only one who's been vocal about this long before it actually.
Oh, you've been saying this for a long time now.
I'm walking through the crowd and somebody grabs my hand. Just softly put their hand in my hand and just holding it. So I look, you know, and I see this big chain that said flip mode. I look up and it's Busta Rhymes.
Busta Rhymes is straight up heated right now, like smoke coming out his ears mad. Word on the street is he's threatening 50 Cent over some wild footage that's allegedly about to surface in 50's upcoming Diddy expose documentary. Now we all know 50's been on a mission for years, stacking receipts on Diddy's infamous FO parties. But this time, Busta might be the one caught slipping.
They call them fun boys. They'll say, we gotta have some fun boys in the section for Busta. Bro, Busta Rhymes wanted him in his section so bad. Like, what? Pulled him to the section, like through the rope, and tucked him off in the corner. So I'm looking like, well, he ain't coming.
Insiders are whispering that there's actual video of Busta getting real cozy in the middle of Diddy's after-hours chaos. And trust, it doesn't stop there. Not too long ago, Busta's former bodyguard, big homie CC, dropped a bomb in an interview. He claimed Busta's been into fun boys for years and that the underground club scene been new. According to him, promoters used to have young dudes on standby lined up and ready to keep Busta entertained every time he hit the VIP section. Ain't nobody blinked back then, but now it's looking real messy.
Busta, I got to ask you, there has been so much going on in the music industry pertaining to Diddy. How closely are you paying attention to his case, the allegations?
I don't pay attention to none of it. I just kind of like to pay attention to the truth.
And guess what? Sources close to the situation are saying 50 might have footage to prove it all. Uncut, behind-the-scenes clips from a Diddy party where Busta and Diddy are allegedly caught in a full-blown freak-off with multiple men. And these weren't just partygoers, they were reportedly ex-workers hired by Diddy himself. But wait, this mess gets even wilder. Now multiple men are stepping up claiming Busta allegedly made some real inappropriate moves on them. These dudes are saying every time they ran into Busta, he was trying to drag them into some wild Diddy-style party scenes, like he was recruiting for the freak show or something. And now, the streets are buzzing that Busta might be next in line to get fully exposed. With 50 Cent behind the Netflix documentary, Busta's threats ain't scaring nobody. In fact, they probably just guaranteed him even more screen time in 50's film. Yeah, talk about backfiring.
You talking about Busta Rhymes before?
Oh, yeah.
In some of your videos.
Oh, yeah. Super zest monster. For sure, bro. That's my thing, bro. Like, this been common knowledge, though. Like, all my promoter homies would always say, man, you know, we gotta bring some, we gotta bring some, what they call them, I'm not gonna say it on here. They call them fun boys. They'll say, we gotta have some fun boys in the section for Busta. Cause you know, I bodyguarded for Ghostface Killah before, you feel me? And being around him, you hear things, you feel me? I'm like, damn. And my auntie like the biggest Busta Rhymes fan, you feel me? Like every cookout she playing it, all his little fast rapping, all of that, him and Craig Mack playing.
So now everybody's asking, why is Busta losing it all of a sudden? What exactly does 50 have on him that's got him spiraling like this? Whatever it is, it must be explosives, because the way Busta's been reacting, it's not giving innocent. And of course, 50 ain't letting none of this slide. Right before he hit the stage with Busta at the Humor and Harmony Comedy Fest, he was already cracking jokes about the situation, saying he was half expecting Busta to show up in some wild outfit straight out of one of Diddy's mystery parties. Let's talk about that outfit. Yup, the infamous yellow fit Busta rocked at the 1999 MTV VMAs. 50 Cent didn't hold back. He posted a throwback pic of Busta in that bright, over-the-top look and joked, "Busta cannot wear this to Humor and Harmony. I don't care who designed it. You better pull up to Shreveport in something fresh, LOL. That post had people howling, but Busta wasn't about to let 50 have the last laugh.
Bro, on my soul, I'm out with a group of people. At this time, I was with Don Benjamin. You familiar with him?
No, I never heard of him.
Model dude, like a model guy. He be doing like some rapping and stuff. His name Don Benjamin. I'm out with Don Benjamin. And the club we ended up going to, Busta Rhymes in there. So it was a little lawyer guy that was with us. And the little lawyer guy we was with, you know, he was a gay dude, super cool, feel me, good guy. Bro, Busta Rhymes wanted him in his section so bad. Like, what? Pulled him to the section, like through the rope, and tucked him off in the corner. So I'm looking like, well, he ain't come with us. But I know he was in the little group. So if I go out with somebody, like a group of people, I try to make sure everybody get there together and leave together. No, he stayed with them. He stayed in there with them, bro. For sure, bro. You ain't never heard about this before, have you? Bro, this common knowledge, bro. Like, if you in the mix, bro. If you in the mix, like I've been in the mix, you know this.
Busta fired back with an AI-generated pic of 50 looking all types of ridiculous and clapped back with, "I keep telling y'all the blessings don't stop, so we ain't never gonna stop. I thought it was Father's Day, 50 Cent, and you out here looking like this? Don't let me find out this how you be in the mirror prepping your look for Shreveport." Who? Shade was flying from both sides.
So, I hear somebody say, "Oh, he's cute, I want him." So when I heard that, I turned around like, man, did he just say that? He got all this jewelry to attract some men in here? You wild. Shocked me. But sure enough.
And that was the guy that Busta Rhymes pulled back?
He pulled him into the section. Pulled him into the section, and then they walled him off like this man. I'm like, damn. And that little dude was so happy, he couldn't believe that. He was shocked.
At the time, it looked like friendly trolling between two legends, but now insiders are claiming that 50 wasn't playing at all. Word is he's sitting on some real wild footage of Busta and Diddy doing the most at one of those now infamous parties. But before we even go there, we gotta rewind to those other jaw-dropping allegations. Busta's ex-bodyguard, Big Homie CC, sat down with the Art of Dialogue and went all the way off. He called Busta a super zest monster and claimed that Busta's been acting real sketchy around young men for years, especially in those private VIP sections.
How long has it been like this known about Busta Rhymes?
Well, I knew about this like in 2012. I knew about this in 2012.
How can we think nobody else speaks up on it or says anything?
Because, bro, these people admire these people so much. They want to make sure they in the section, they at the club, they at the video shoot, they can get backstage. That matters most to them. That matters so much to people. It's crazy. Like, but if you notice, like, there's countless videos of Busta Rhymes getting mad at females for just being girls. This girl touched him one time, he go crazy, throw a drink on her and everything. See what I'm saying? Like, what? Why you getting mad at females? You go to these guys, they in the club, go to their section. It's all men in the section. That ain't weird to nobody. I'm going to the bar, sorry. Text me if it get dangerous. But there's all this club security in here, like nothing's finna happen. Nobody wanna kill you guys, bro. Like, when I get jobs from people who really got a threat on their life, I move way different. But man, you ask, bro, anybody that's in the mix, bro, like you know, bro, most of these dudes, bro, putting on a major act. They don't want to be themselves.
It's crazy.
They'll get mad at you for buying bottles of champagne to get the girls. They'll get mad, oh, we don't want these bottle rats in our section. What are we here for? Why are y'all here then? What are y'all here for? Just because y'all got booked to be here, okay, but sometimes they not booked. They just in there. So, and what they looking for, it ain't gonna be what you thinking of on God. Seen it.
According to Big Homie CC, this whole situation has been what folks in the industry call an open secret, especially among club promoters. Allegedly, every time Busta was booked for an event, the promoters already knew what time it was. They had to make sure his VIP section came fully stocked with more than just bottles. Entertainment meant hand-picking the right crowd. And in Busta's case, that reportedly meant fine young men. Big Homie even spilled tea on one specific wild night involving actor and model Don Benjamin and one of Don's friends, a gay man. And according to Big Homie, the moment Busta laid eyes on this guy, it was go time. He said Busta didn't hesitate. Not even for a second. He snatched the dude straight into his VIP and wasn't letting him go.
I'm walking, New York City, going to a club. It was Halloween weekend, everybody was out. And it was this party we was going to, me, my boy, and his friend that had came in from Detroit. And I'm walking across the street and Busta Rhymes just grabbed my hand. And he holding my hand. Now I ain't know it was Busta at first. Busta Rhymes tall. I'm sure I came up to about right here. So the first thing I noticed was this big flip mode chain that was blinding me. So I look at the chain and I look up, I'm like, oh, what's up, Busta? What's up? Now he holding my hand the whole time. I'm like, what's up, man? He like, what you doing? And I was like, oh, me and my people, we about to go to this club around the corner. What's up, man? And then I noticed throughout my peripheral vision, the side eye, this big bodyguard in black. Just standing there, looking around, looked at me, still looking around. Meanwhile, Busta still got my hand in his hand.
Big Homie claimed Busta was all over that man the entire night, whispering, complimenting him, making sure he stayed close, and allegedly wouldn't even let him step out the section. And here's the thing, it wasn't just a random moment. According to him, this was standard procedure, and he said club promoters were already hip. They knew if Busta was coming, they needed to gather up the best-looking men for his section. Once Busta locked eyes on someone, it was a wrap. Big Homie even said Busta kept calling that man cute all night long and stayed glued to him the whole time. It's sounding like what happens in VIP. Doesn't stay in VIP anymore. Now this is where things take a crazy turn. Big Homie CC says the industry been knowing Busta's real preferences for over a decade. So why hasn't anybody ever called him out? According to Big Homie, it's simple. Everybody want to be in that VIP with Busta. That access, those parties, that spotlight, folks were willing to stay quiet just to stay close.
He says, I'm about to go in this club. We got a section. You can come in with me if you want. And I'm like, word, for real? Like, that's what's up. Like, he was like, yeah. I was like, well, I gotta, tell my people. I was like, I come in, you know what I'm saying? He was like, okay, just let me know, tell them that you coming in there to meet with me and come on up. And I was like, bet. So, of course, I'm excited. You know what I'm saying? Busta Rhymes is one of my favorite artists of all time.
But then Big Homie dropped a bomb that barely gets talked about, and it's way more serious. He brought up Busta's alleged history of putting hands on women and hinted there might be a deeper reason behind it. Big Homie said what a lot of folks are afraid to admit, that some men who live on the down low might carry a kind of anger or resentment toward women, and it shows in how they treat them. That's a heavy claim. And before anybody tries to say Big Homie is just chasing clout, hold up. He's not the only one coming forward. A whole wave of men have stepped up with their own bizarre encounters involving Busta. Back in 2020, social media personality Trip Alley took to YouTube and spilled his own tea.
Made love. We made love.
Who you made love with?
Diddy, Bow Wow, Busta Rhymes.
You just told me you see Busta in the airport too. That motherfucker try to act like he didn't know you. You smashed Drake?
No, I never smashed.
Oh, you made love to Drake.
What's that name? Terrence Howard.
Terrence Howard.
Terrence Howard. Usher. Usher's a gusher. And
why you not naming those?
I'm telling you, bro. It's my dad's friends. My dad sent his baddest friends on me.
Who's your dad?
Lucifer.
Trip claimed that Busta tried to scoop him up in NYC while he was just headed to a Halloween party. He said Busta personally invited him to the VIP section. At first, Trip thought it was just a regular club vibe, but he quickly realized this was not that type of party. Things got real messy real quick. Trip Alley said the whole situation went left when he got into a heated argument with his friend, who straight up wasn't feeling the idea of sliding to Busta's party. The back and forth got so intense it actually turned into a full-on fight. Trip was so rattled, he decided to ditch the club plans completely. And to make it worse, his friend stormed off and left him stranded right there in the middle of New York City. But honestly, that might have been a blessing in disguise, because if Trip had made it to Busta's VIP that night, who knows what kind of scene he would have walked into.
Documentary comes out called Quiet on Set.
I never had to work for Nickelodeon. I work for Disney. We don't do those things.
Oh man, not the exhale.
Well, shout out to Nick Cannon. I won't do his money like that. What I will do is I'll say that the owner of Nickelodeon is Jeffrey Epstein. The guy that they've been trying to follow. And okay, now look at the characteristics of everything they said, and then look at everything that he did.
Sure.
I'm not gonna do that to Nick's money though. That's my brother. Like, I'm not doing that to Tito.
Fast forward to 2021 and the whispers started again. Folks said Busta was back outside, allegedly trying to link up with men in the nightlife scene. But then it got even messier. Word on the street is that paparazzi caught him leaving a gay pride event with a trans woman, and you already know how fast those pics started circulating. But just when you think it can't get crazier, boom, Orlando Brown jumped back into the spotlight and had the internet in flames. He went on another wild rant, claiming he hooked up with a whole list of industry men. And yup, he name-dropped both Diddy and Busta. Now look, we all know Orlando Brown isn't always taken seriously, especially when he starts going off. But here's the thing. If you really listen to some of Orlando Brown's more recent interviews where he actually sounds way more clear-headed, you might start noticing something. He's making a lot more sense than people want to admit. And that's what's got folks raising eyebrows all over again. Now, Busta may be living on the DL, that's one thing, but what people really need to start talking about is how, just like Diddy, he's got a long and shady history of putting hands on people over the pettiest stuff. This isn't just gossip, there are receipts going all the way back. Let's rewind to 2006. Prosecutors tried to charge Busta with a weapons case after an incident with a random guy on the street. And according to Billboard, it wasn't just a scuffle. Busta allegedly had a whole machete stashed in his car. Yeah, a machete. Who rolls around with that in the trunk? Then in 2007, Busta was back in hot water again, this time getting arrested for allegedly roughing up his own driver over a money situation. Like, what? He was out here catching charges over disputes with people on his own payroll? Eventually, he pleaded guilty to both cases and got slapped with 3 years of probation.
I got to ask you, there has been so much going on in the music industry pertaining to Diddy. How closely are you paying attention to his case, the allegations?
I don't pay attention to none of it. I just kind of like to pay attention to the truth. I don't really like to speak on situations that I'm not well versed in, and that's not really my situation. You know what I'm saying? But I wish the best for everyone involved. God bless everyone involved. And, you know, I think that we should all kind of be a little more mindful of how much we speak on other things when it's as sensitive as this. People don't keep in mind the effect of what their opinion can have. And I think it's really, really important that we reserve our opinions until we understand what the undisputed truth is.
Have you had the chance to speak to Diddy?
I spoke to him a few times before, like, it got a little out of control. A lot of the times when people are going through things, you gotta respect the space and the privacy that they need to process how they're gonna deal with the things that they're going through. I just wanna see the right end result for everyone.
But let's be clear, the drama didn't stop there. Back in 2009, the New York Post exposed another wild chapter in Busta's long history of drama. Turns out, he had to shell out a cool $75,000 to a fan after things got way out of hand at one of his shows. The fan claimed Busta straight up launched water bottles at him twice and even had his bodyguard punch him right in the face. And what sparked all that? Get this. The guy was just trying to leave the concert early. He showed up hoping to see Fabulous, but when Fab never hit the stage, he decided to dip while Busta was still performing. That's when things went left. According to the fan, Busta snapped and allegedly shouted, "Get down, I'm not good enough for you." before launching the bottles and setting his bodyguard loose. That temper, it's been following Busta for years, and honestly, it makes a lot more sense why he's always been so tight with Diddy since way back in the 90s. Aside from both being powerhouses in the industry, sources say they allegedly share another bond too, a very specific interest in much younger men. And with all these new allegations coming to light, folks are side-eyeing their friendship real hard, especially when it comes to how Busta's been acting about the Diddy mess. See, when the heat started building and accusations first came up against Diddy, Busta was one of the first to jump in and tell fans to hold their opinions. Now let's keep it real. Why would you even feel the need to tell folks to hold their opinions unless you were low-key trying to protect somebody? Especially when we're talking about serious accusations, DVSA, multiple alleged victims, and some of them reportedly very young, telling people to mind their business when those kinds of claims are flying around? Yeah, that makes you look real shady.
Do it, right?
Yeah.
I know you've been heavy on social media talking about it.
He did it. And I'm the only one who's been vocal about this long before it actually.
Oh, you've been saying this for a long time now, and then no one was, they're just, why is he saying this? And now it's coming out like crazy.
But I also didn't participate. I also didn't go to those parties.
Yeah.
So a lot of the celebrity culture that you don't hear saying anything is because they participated.
Was there a reason you never went to those parties back in the day? Obviously, I know what was going on there, but is there a reason you never did?
I'm just not with all that freaky shit. Like all of the stuff that he's doing, I'm not into that type of stuff. I'm just a little more, maybe you could say basic or normal. You go to the 90s, and Keefy D said he paid him to Tupac.
Yeah.
It's a little, like, you get the craziest accusations. You had TMZ created a docuseries that went to Tubi, but the series is saying the downfall of Diddy.
But fast forward to now, and the whole Diddy situation has blown wide open. We're talking federal raids, multiple lawsuits, and now an official indictment. And suddenly, Busta's out here acting like he's never even met Diddy. The same man he's been cool with for decades, now he's dodging questions, staying silent, and trying to ghost his own history. But let's not play dumb. The streets are already buzzing that Busta's name is getting directly mentioned in 50 Cent's upcoming Netflix documentary on Diddy. And if there's one thing we all know about 50, it's that he doesn't forget anything. He's been collecting receipts for years, and he's one of the few rappers who refuse to get caught up in Diddy's party scenes. From the jump, 50 saw the shady vibes and decided to keep his distance. But just because he wasn't partying with them doesn't mean he wasn't watching everything. 50 moves like a chess master, quiet, calculated, and always 10 steps ahead. And now, it looks like he's finally ready to lay all the cards on the table, with names included. You already know 50 Cent was sitting on the sidelines for years, silently clocking every rapper who accepted one of Diddy's invites. He kept mental receipts on everybody. And now, it's finally his time to expose it all. Word on the street is that this upcoming documentary is shaping up to be the industry's worst nightmare because nobody is safe. For years, the whispers have been loud about certain rappers who allegedly got wild behind closed doors with Diddy. And according to insiders, Busta Rhymes' name is definitely one of the ones being whispered. This ain't just messy. It's about to shake the whole culture. Now, while we don't have an official release date just yet, we do know the doc is coming through G-Unit Films and Television Inc. So you already know 50 is putting serious money and power behind this. And get this, it's being directed by Emmy-winning filmmaker Alex Stapleton, who doesn't play around when it comes to storytelling. So yeah, this ain't no low-budget YouTube tea. It's high-quality, heavy-hitting, straight-to-the-point exposure. And here's where it gets real spicy. Sources say Busta already knows what's about to drop. Word is he's been scrambling behind the scenes, trying to pull strings and do damage control before the doc hits the platform. Insiders claim he even warned 50 to leave his name out of it. But let's keep it a buck. Busta's so-called warnings probably just made 50 double down harder. If you know anything about 50 Cent, then you already know he lives for the drama and thrives off making a point. The moment you try to silence him, that's when he turns up the heat. So if Busta really is on that list, there's zero chance 50's cutting him out now. In fact, he might give him a whole segment. Now here's the real question. What's Busta so scared of? If there's nothing to hide, why not just brush it off and keep it moving? But the way he's allegedly scrambling behind the scenes, it's giving nervous energy. So let's talk about it. Do you think Busta is really wrapped up in Diddy's madness? Or is his name just getting dragged through the chaos like some guilty by association type of deal? And more importantly, is 50's upcoming documentary about to blow the lid off the whole industry? Drop your thoughts in the comments below, smash that like button, hit subscribe, share it with somebody who needs to hear this, and don't miss what's coming next. You already know it's about to get even wilder. See you on the next one.